Manchester United have defeated Barcelona and we advance in the Europa League. What is good, y'all? Welcome to the Wavy Baller Hub. This is the Wavy United podcast. Good vibes today. Great vibes today. What a match we just watched. Again, down 1-0, coming up and winning 2-1. Big result. Eric Ten Hag has changed the mentality of this team, and I am so glad to see it. We have great guests coming in with us today. So make sure to stay tuned. Stay tuned. Smash the like button for me. Let's get to 20 likes on this stream. Let's get to 20 likes on this stream. Make sure to share this with your friend. I'm going to bring in my guy, Abdel. Bro, oh my goodness. That was a great feeling. You're on mute, bro. But hey, how you feeling, my guy?
Yeah, it was nice. I was pissed off at first because the first half was bad.
Of course.
And like we didn't play bad. Like I know their penalty is dodgy a little bit, but like we didn't play bad anyway. We didn't play good anyway. So I was like, whatever, we deserved it. We don't play well. We didn't play well.
Mhm.
But like the second half, he he did the changes that I actually said, and I didn't even know because I was on a late stream. And I was like, yo, Ten Hag needs to change this. This is not working. Bring Sancho on the left. Put Anthony on. I don't know how fit he is, but like we just need him at the moment.
Facts.
And yeah, and put Bruno back in the 10 and Rashford in the 9. And we scored a goal right away. We made those changes.
Bro, it's great to see, man. It's a good feeling. I'm gonna bring my guy Mark in. What's good, bro? How you feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling?
Um, that was a bit of a roller coaster, wasn't it?
No,
Like,
for sure. That was
Yeah.
definitely a roller coaster indeed, but a good roller coaster because we got through in the end, bro. These are games that, again, I was saying, me and Abdel were just talking about this yesterday. These are games that we used to lose. These are
yeah,
games that we used to lose down 1-0, under pressure. Things aren't going our way. We're not playing well. The ref is against us. All of these factors, and we come right out of halftime, big goal.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's just, I don't know what else to say, man. This is Ten Hag is just a miracle worker. I don't know how else to
do you
put
know
it.
what? Yeah,
Bro,
I
go
feel like
ahead.
Ten Hag created some of his own problems. If truth be told,
Yeah. Yeah.
because that I don't know where Sancho was playing. I honestly don't know where he was playing. Like I don't
I
know
10.
think
whether
he was playing as a 10
I don't
The
know
for,
whether
10
it
for
is
the
was an
first
eight.
half.
I don't know whether it was an 8, a 10. I think I think he was doing a bit too much. Workhorse. I don't want to see him in that shit ever again. Honestly, I mean, and I'm gonna be totally honest. Like people like try and create these think pieces about he contributes because like his movement allows this and that. Bro, stop it. Football is a
Mhm.
simple game. Football is a simple game. Like, and people try to overcomplicate like his value or like his contribution. You can't do nothing with him. You can't play it long term because you can't hold it up. You can't play it to, like airily because he's not good in the air. You can't play it down the side of him because he's not fast. Like, what can you do with him? You can't do nothing. I think I saw more from McTominay in 2 minutes of him playing as a target man than I have Workhorse in about 3-4 games. Like he
You're
Workhorse,
being harsh. You're being harsh.
I'm being dead serious. Workhorse, like I saw something like Errol Jules 0 out of 4 or something like that. It's just he's just so on paper, yeah. You'd think, oh, 6'6", good with his feet. You're thinking, yeah, Giroud, like Giroud type. He's just so soft. He doesn't offer anything. He literally doesn't offer anything. The game changed when he went off. The game
No, he
completely
did, of
changed.
course.
And
But
it's like,
Anthony's just a better player, though. I mean, the game is bound to
yeah,
change when you bring in
yeah.
on
But I
Anthony.
think we just don't create when because like on the pitch, like, give or take, we created loads, quite a few against Leicester, but the game was quite stretched, quite open. When the game's compact and you need something to happen, and your work was up front, nothing's gonna happen because
Abdel,
he
what do you
just
think?
In this game, I
Yeah,
think
just
it
in
was.
terms of what you. So let's talk about Weghorst, but let's talk about Weghorst first. What did you think about let's talk about the first half. Let's talk about the first half. What did you think about the first half? What were your
Mm.
overall thoughts on Ten Hag's decisions in the first half, and then we'll go on from there.
I think Eric was just trying to be a little too cute and clever. Clever,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And that's the same type of thing that gets thrown at Guardiola. Guardiola tries to be a little bit cute and clever all the time as well with his tactics sometimes. And I'm like, you don't need to do that. Like, you know where your strengths are, just play to your strength. And yeah, I get it. I get the value of having Bruno on the right hand side. I get the value of having Sancho in the 10. But this is not the game, because that game is, you're playing it against a team that controls possession. Whether the individuals are better than your individuals on one by one basis, that's different. But they are better than you in keeping the ball. So I just didn't like, it didn't set with me well, especially putting Rashford on the left. And remember yesterday we were talking, when Rashford gets put on the left and there is no support dynamically to him, if a team falls back into their shape, in their compact shape, he won't do much. And he wasn't doing much. They didn't give him the space. I told you, I'm pretty sure Javi will try to not give Rashford much.
You did
this
say
game.
that. You did say
Yeah,
that.
and he didn't get any space in behind. Even when he put him on the left, Rashford barely got any space in behind.
But that's also to cut you off. But that's also a byproduct of the fact that Workhorse is playing, because you can't bounce off him like Rashford. Yeah, like say for
Yeah,
instance,
obviously. Yeah.
say for instance
You
you got
can't.
Marshall as a 9. Like Rashford doesn't need to take on Kunde. He can just pass the ball and run in behind. But
Yeah.
you can't do that. You can't do that with Workhorse because he offers zilch. Like
Like,
honestly,
I think with Weghorst, if you're playing against a team like Barcelona, his layoffs doesn't work.
yeah,
Because they're gonna push him so deep into his own half, his layoffs are meaningless.
Mm.
You know, so if you're playing as against a Crystal Palace, for example, or a Leicester or whatever, a team in the Premier League like that, you can play Weghorst a little bit in the center, or even in the 10 when he played him in the 10, because his layoffs against these type of players are gonna work. They're gonna look a little bit neat and nice, because it's not a physical thing, but it's kind of like when your player strength is up the field, if he's receiving it very further down the field, then it's a completely different story.
I would argue that we were playing just fine before that bullshit ass penalty that ref called. I thought we were playing just fine. Honestly, we were dominating possession. We were the ones pressing. We were the ones winning the ball back. And what happened was the players mentally got rattled. I think they just lost their heads. They were thinking about the referees. They were thinking about everything but the actual game on the pitch. So they weren't playing well. And then when Ten Hag readjusted in the second half and kind of jolted them, right? We get a goal in the first minute. Then we go back to playing the football that we were playing before the penalty. So I agree with what you're saying, both of you, Abdel and Mark. Like Veghorst is not going to be starting for us. Like Anthony's back now, right?
Yeah, of course.
Martial's coming back. You feel me? So like he was never going to be like, he was always a stopgap. You feel me? And he can be, and I think he'll be a good impact sub, right? If you ask him to fucking just, lay the ball off or, just try and press.
No, but we're talking in the context of this game, though. Like, we're not talking about Weghorst being a future starter for us.
No, I'm just saying, like,
game, he hasn't been effective.
No, he wasn't. I agree with that. But I do feel as if the team was performing well before that penalty. And let's talk about that.
Even played well. I don't think we played well. I just think like
before the penalty, you think we played well?
No, I think we was too emotionally involved, and I think I think the ref even let us off. Like some fouls, he didn't really call when it should have been fouls. Like I think we were just too emotionally invested in that type of game, and sometimes it can work against you. Even when we was winning 2-1, I don't particularly felt we played well. I think we wanted it more. I think that was just a case of us showing the dog in us, the grit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think Barcelona
What do you think about the penalty? Was it a penalty, or am I being harsh?
It's one of those ones where it's not a penalty, but you've given the referee a decision to make, and if you give a referee a decision to make, he's gonna make it. So you've chanced it. You roll the dice.
Because he held his hand and he pulled him, but then halfway through he let go because he realized what he's doing.
Yeah.
So it was too late already. So
and it's one of those ones where it's like it's not gonna get overturned. Like if the referee didn't give it and he went to VAR, he might overturn it.
They won't give it.
Yeah, but it's like the other way around. He's not going to overturn.
The other way around, exactly. They won't overturn.
Yeah.
If he's given a penalty on the spot,
it's just soft. It's just soft. But it's all good. We move on. Obviously, like we all, like Abdel and Mark just said, it definitely wasn't a great first half. But then right right as soon as halftime comes in, Anthony comes in, makes an impact. I think Bruno makes up for his poor first half. I thought he had a poor first half, and then immediately makes
Yeah,
an impact, right? For that first goal, the pass into Fred, and then the goal by Fred with his right foot. I think he shins it, but
he
Yeah,
spins it. It
you
was a shin.
know, at the end of the day, he got enough power on it. You feel me? He had
Yeah.
enough power on it to make a significant impact and beat Ter Stegen. So it's a great goal. It doesn't matter how it gets in the goal. You feel me? But it's a great goal.
Yeah.
What did you so? And then after that, I think we started rolling them over. I really thought that second half was, in my opinion, was men against boys. They really never got a foothold in the game. What do you think, Abdel?
Um, I don't 100% agree with that. I think it was more of an open game. Like it got annoying. It got
Mm,
annoying for me. Like I'm like, okay, like neither team is settling down. Everyone is just breaking on the other.
mm,
And they're because they are not a transition team, they looked worse than us. We are a transitional team. So
mm.
ours when we transitioned on them, we looked more slick and we carved them open
That's fair. I
on a
see what you're
couple of
saying.
instances. But when they transitioned, if you notice, every time it went up to Lewandowski or every time it went up to someone like that, Casemiro and Varane were just sensational in stopping that. So
Yeah,
they couldn't string anything once they reached the final third, but they reached the final third in a transitional moment. It wasn't a build-up moment. It wasn't like a settled possession. So that's completely different.
no,
I
that's
think
fair.
the only chance they made it was at the far end when Varane stopped it
Yeah, and
right hand.
that's why for me,
Yeah,
I felt as if it was more like we dominated the second half more. Like if you think what chances outside this the Kunde chance, right? Outside of that, what did they really create? And they had the ball. I mean, I'm trying to look at possession here. They had
58 or
58%
so.
possession, so very similar to the last game. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't a drastic difference. I think it was 61% last game.
Yeah,
So they had the ball. They did what they do, but at the same, like you mentioned, in those moments of transition, I felt like even though it was open, we
yeah,
were in control. Like I never felt as if they got in behind on us at any point. Or Lewandowski was
yeah,
turning players. He never rolled Martinez. He never rolled Varane. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
yeah.
where was their dominance? So Mark, what did you think about the second half?
I think Barca's best chances came from our sort of like mistakes,
Mistakes. I agree.
like De Gea passing the ball. I don't know what on earth he was thinking. Like we saw what happened with the goalkeepers the other day in the Champions League. Like
That was lucky. We're lucky.
I have no idea what was happening. Like even like our passing to a degree wasn't as crisp as it should be, and it led to like their chances. But Barca didn't really
Mm.
create much. I mean, like you said, you mentioned the Kunde chance.
Great save.
Great
Lewandowski
save,
chance
yeah.
at the end.
Lewandowski chance, yeah. But I,
Um,
aside from that, I can't really remember anything. But
Exactly.
even like the Lewandowski chance as well, yeah. At the end, that's from like they didn't really carve us open. That was just more through transition, like because we just didn't manage the situation correctly. Yeah. But again, I can't really remember anything they created. For us, I think we created a bit more. Like I think a few
yeah, we
times,
created one or two more.
yeah. I
Like
think
if we're talking chances, like
yeah, Anthony and Rashford made a few bad decisions a couple of
yeah,
times.
Yeah.
Um, Bruno's chance in the first 5 minutes, that was a
Right.
big one. Yeah,
That
he
was a
just needs
huge
to put his
chance.
foot. Yeah, he just needs to put his foot through that. It wasn't a game of many chances, to be fair. If truth be told, it was just like many battles within like it was just like battles within battles all across the
Mm,
pitch. I thought
mm.
Wan-Bissaka did really well, to be fair. But the only issue I had with him was that he was giving whoever was on the left of Baldes too much space. Too like he was tucking next to the run a bit too much. The
I
same
thought
with
that was
Shaw
I
as
thought that
well.
was intentional. I thought that was
Uh,
intentional.
If
Because what
I
did
don't
what
know,
did Balde really again? He gave him that space. He'd run into the space, but then Wan-Bissaka would immediately,
yeah, but
close him down.
I think for me, I didn't think it was intentional because when Delo came on, it wasn't as apparent. He was a bit more tighter to Balde, and same with Shaw. I think with Shaw as well, like he's been doing this for ages. Like it's just a bad habit with Shaw. Like, he just gives his attacker too much space, and yeah. But other that being said, I don't think he played well, but I think it showed a different side to us. Like we know how to roll our sleeves up.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
for me this game was very scrappy, very very cagey. I thought we won the midfield battle. I thought Casemiro was excellent. I thought Fred was excellent. I thought Bruno in the second half was excellent. You know, so their midfielders. I mean, Busquets obviously was doing what he does, but
Yeah,
very very restrained. De Jong kind of running around in circles. Not really. Fred was all over him a
yeah,
majority of the game. You know, and then Bruno. I mean, he had a poor first half on the ball, but I thought defensively again was brilliant.
yeah.
Like just
He's probably like a victim of his own hard work for the penalty, really, because
yeah.
he worked so hard. I mean, even though it came from a corner, he made up the yard to close on the space.
Yeah, so I think that was it. Marco mentioned individual battles. I think we won a majority of the individual battles. If you look
Mm,
at their players, who from their team would you say had a really good game? Like Lewandowski didn't have a good game in my opinion.
Balde.
I didn't. Yeah, Balde was
yeah,
was
he was a
Balde
threat
was
to be
he
fair.
was he was a threat, right? But again,
Yeah,
I
I
never
thought
really feared him. I never really feared him.
I thought Frankie and Busquets were good in the first half. I didn't think they were bad. I actually thought their midfield in
Yeah, in the
general
first half. In the first
in
half.
the first half was better than us. And they pressed Casemiro pretty well in the first half. They minimized his ability on the ball greatly.
Mm,
Fred kept losing his marker in the first half, which allowed Balde to be free. Because when that happens, you see I saw it a couple of times, our last line would shrink. They would tuck in to protect the middle of the pitch, and one of them would step out. And that left Balde free on the other side. But then that was corrected. Like Fred got into the game better by the second half.
mm.
Um, so their attackers were bad, completely bad. Like Lewandowski did nothing. Rafinha did nothing. Fati did nothing when he came on. Um, Kessie was okay. So other than that, I don't
Yeah.
think, other than those 3 to 4 players, I don't think any of the rest of their 11 did anything
Yeah,
special.
let's talk about Ten Hag right now because I think I think he is the quote unquote man of the match of this game. You know what I mean? Obviously not on the pitch, but I thought all the decisions he made were the right decisions every time. I
yeah,
just
yeah,
I just as he
Yeah.
had a maybe didn't I wouldn't say he set up the team poorly. I just think the players didn't play well, but he made adjustments immediately. The Anthony adjustment. I've I've criticized Anthony in the past, but I thought his what he did for us in the buildup was critical, right? The way he took the goal, the electricity out wide that he provided was so critical. And then even bringing on Garnacho, I thought Garnacho came in and gave us something a little bit different to help us out. Mark, what were your thoughts on Ten Hag and his tactical, performance today?
spot on like you said. Too many times we've seen like managers wait like 10 minutes like after half time to make a a sub or give it 15 minutes. Like I was watching that game and I kept saying Records can't come out in the second half. You cannot like, and that's exactly what happened. Records didn't come out in the second half, and it was a right change. I know Russia didn't like have a good game, but I think it was just for the betterment of the team that he went up front. Anthony as well. I know people criticize him because his lack of variety, but what he does provide is a good balance. His retention of the ball is very, very good. I think that's very underrated. Where we've kind of seen that when he doesn't play, there isn't much sort of
Mm-hmm.
retention, and there isn't sort of like possession like being built up like precisely. So I do think there is some value in Anthony.
Oh
But yeah,
no, Anthony is very valuable, both in
yeah,
possession and out
exactly.
of possession. Yeah.
Yeah, people don't see it. People just see the price tag and just assume because
I
he's
don't
not
think
even.
he'll ever live up to that price tag.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
problem. I don't think he'll ever live up to that because Anthony isn't like I think people were thinking they're getting Mo Salah. He's
Yeah,
not, and he'll never will be. He's
yeah,
not gonna like catch the prem by on fire and score like 30 goals or something. He's never been that player, but tactically, he's a very useful player.
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
exactly.
100%. No, I
Yeah,
think that in the final third, he definitely needs to improve, in my opinion. Not even in
Yeah,
terms of just goals, because he's actually scoring goals at a
Yeah, I
decent
think he's got
rate. It's
six
yeah,
more
goals.
yeah.
so it's more so that that last ball that why not take it, put it on your right foot and drive it, drive it down the
Yeah,
byline once or twice, just things like that. But again, if you're gonna score a goal of that magnitude, bro, uh, and then help us with the buildup, his close control is excellent, in my opinion. There are positives to his game. So I'm happy that I think he's going to start in the cup final, right?
yeah,
It's going to be a big matchup for him, a big moment for him, and I think he's proving to us that he can make moves in those big moments.
yeah. I think
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
him against Dan Burn will be a massive matchup. We saw at Old Trafford that Dan Burn did not fancy him whatsoever. It's just whether how Ten Hag goes. I think Sancho will probably get dropped. To be fair, I don't think he was great today. I think he will stick with Red Horse, unfortunately, up front, and then maybe Rashford off the left, and maybe like Bruno at 10. But I guess I could firm it for about 60 minutes. I confirm it. Red Horse running around for about 60 minutes.
That's funny. No, that's an interesting point, and preview probably will come out tomorrow or the next day. So stay on the lookout for that, guys, for the cup final. But yeah, no, I think that there's a lot of this is a big moment, right? Because one, I don't know who our next. What are we now? Where are we now in the Europa League? Is it round of 16? Is it quarterfinals? What is it?
Round of
Round
16
16.
next.
Round of
Round
16 is
16.
next. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would imagine we might luck into an easy draw. This this this
Uh,
re-
let
this
me see.
result
Let
kind
me,
of gives us the chance to take a deep breath.
let me
Dude,
see who's gone out. So
I hope Sevilla got knocked out because I don't want to play that team anymore.
No,
Monaco got
seriously.
knocked out. Nantes
Okay.
got knocked out. Sevilla went through. Rennes and Shakhtar are still playing.
Okay.
Roma are through. Ajax got knocked out.
Okay.
Yeah, and FC Midtjylland got knocked out as well. So
Let me.
Sporting, Leverkusen, Juventus, Sevilla, Roma are through,
Okay.
and Union Berlin. Sorry.
Wow. Let's
No,
see. Let's see.
Europa League's level has gone
It's
up
actually
since
yeah. The level is actually pretty
since
good.
since
Yeah.
Mourinho's days. Like Mourinho was the last time Europa was actually mediocre.
Mm. Yeah. Let's talk about our center backs. Varane and Martinez are the best center back duo we've had for years. Absolutely,
Easy,
of course.
easy.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
not even a
easy.
question. That's not
Yeah,
even a question. They were. I thought both of them today were spectacular. Like I thought
yeah.
Varane was an absolute leave. I mean, he obviously made that game-winning, game-saving clearance right at the end there from
Bro, if
Lewandowski.
that went to draw, fuck man.
Oh,
Oh
it would have
my
been
god.
crazy. It would have been stress. It would have been stress. But
I don't
even
want to go
outside
to
of that,
penalties.
no, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. To be fair, De Gea tried there. I'm not gonna kill him
Yeah.
for
To be
that,
fair,
man.
you got a good hand to it. I
He
think.
got a good hand. It was just unlucky.
That
I
was a
think.
shit penalty from Andowski though.
It
I
was.
Yeah.
It
just
was a
like
terrible penalty.
the speed, the everything, even the run up was shit from him. Like,
I
what the hell
think
is
De
he
Gea even
doing?
helped it in. De Gea even helped it
Yeah,
in. I think what happened was
yeah,
the slip as he goes to
He
spring, kind
slipped
of.
yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
and he
Yeah.
gets underneath it. So I can't really.
Yeah, you
I
see that
think.
little stutter step did affect De Gea because when Lewandowski did
Yeah.
the stutter, De Gea steps and he slips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
he has to try and recover to make the. I mean, it is what it is, man. Things
yeah.
happen, but no, Martinez, Varane, bro, they are,
They're a perfect match.
they're
Like,
perfect.
yeah,
Mm,
in terms of like both their weaknesses and their strength, they kept match each other perfectly, like a perfect puzzle. And Martinez being a left-footed, Ratan being right-footed, Martinez being the aggressor, Varane being the recovery. It's everything matches up perfectly for both
No,
of them.
100%. It's it's
yeah.
it's it's beautiful to see. It's
Yeah.
truly
Yeah.
beautiful to
And I,
see.
I love the fact that like Varane wasn't so emotionally invested in the game. Like he's just always calm. Like regardless of the situation, he's always calm. Like in some games he can like Leach can get like really hot headed, but I think today they managed it pretty well between them. And they're perfect for each other. They're just like yin and yang.
Mm. No, I agree. I agree, man. Great game. Let's do some player ratings and then we'll round up here. Let's go with De Gea. I'll start with Abdel. What would you give him?
Just like a standard 6 out of
6.
10. Yeah.
6,
Fair
yeah.
enough. Fair. How about you, Sarfo?
6.
6. I'll give him a 6 too. Let's make it easy. At right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. What would you give him, Mark?
7.
I'll give him honestly, I think I'll give him a 7 too, because again, defensively, I think he's so underrated. Like you were talking about giving Balde space and stuff like that. I think he does it intentionally because he knows he can cover the ground.
But
Like
he
Oh
can't do
no,
it.
he
that that was tactically done. That wasn't
yeah.
the fault of Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah. Because first of all, our right first after was Bruno. Bruno was the one really tracking Balde. But again, what happened down that side? Absolute. And then Sergio Roberto was playing left wing too. So it was kind of just I'm not trying to disrespect Sergio Roberto, but Wan-Bissaka wasn't worried one iota. I can't remember one thing Sergio Roberto did. So it was just an easy money. I'll give him a 7. How about you, Abdel?
Yeah, I can go with that. I was gonna go for 6.5-ish, but I can go 7.
We do 0.5s. We do 0.5s. It's all good. It's all good. So 7s across the board. Martinez, I'll give him a 7.5. I'll give him a 7.5. You'll give him an 8, 8.5.
Yeah.
What would you give him, Mark?
8. I think I'll go with 8.
Okay. Fair enough. Varane, what would you give him, Abdel?
For that last ditch tackle, he goes from 8 to 9.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 8.5.
I was gonna say Sander at 8, but if it wasn't for that tackle, I'd say that's why I give him 9.
No, you do deserve extra points for that. I'll give him an 8.5. How about you, Mark?
9.
9? Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. Luke Shaw. I give him. This one's tough. I'm gonna give him a 7 because Rafinha didn't do anything today, honestly, on down that side. Like I can't remember one. And
I was gonna say the same thing,
up.
same as Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They just did a normal job.
They just did a job. I mean, Rafinha was torturing Malacia last week. I don't know if you remember. Rafinha was getting
well against him.
No, he did well, but I'm saying Rafinha Rafinha was their best, he was their biggest threat by far.
Yeah, but week. I don't think Malacia I think Malacia did a very, very good job on him. Like, even though I know Rafinha got the goal, or whatever, but
it wasn't even him trying to score a goal. It was a cross that just happened when.
Yeah, I think Malacia did a very, very good job on him.
No, I'm more so talking about Rafinha's his threat throughout the course of I thought he for me last week. Rafinha was, when they took him off, I kind of took a deep breath, like, all right, cool, because he was kind of had his way. I know, I hear what you're saying. Malacia did well. I would say he did well under the circumstances because Rafinha was, in my opinion, undoubtedly a threat. I
wasn't bothered about Rafinha last week. Truth be told, I thought Malacia did a very, every time Rafinha tried to turn, he almost kissed Malacia. That's how tight Malacia was to him. Like, he was just. I thought Malacia had him in his pocket.
And that's one thing I'll give Malacia for sure. Like, even if he gets beat, he's so tenacious that it's kind of like, wait, I just beat you. How the hell did you come up in front of me again?
Yeah.
He's very tenaciously. He's much better than Luke Shaw in defensively in that sense that he won't let you go. Like, you can't just beat him and that's it. He's done. He's very tenacious, which is I like about him.
Fair enough.
I'll give Shaw a 6, but I think his contribution to the second goal can't be overlooked because the ball was going out and he backheeled it and it found Bruno or whatever. So I think 6, but I'll also pick him up for never giving up and obviously keeping the ball in. So yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Casemiro in midfield. What would you give him, Mark?
It's a weird one because on the ball he wasn't great. On the ball he was quite terrible on the ball, to be fair, but he was sweeping up. It's a hard one up. 6, 6.5, 6. Yeah, I'm gonna go 6, and it's his birthday, so.
I would just go for 7 just because he stopped many of the attacks, even though on the ball he was bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna give. You know what? He can't play like Busquets every single week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not
No,
that's not. You know what I'm
the,
saying? I'm giving
the
him a
thing
seven and
is,
a half. That's what I'm giving him.
Javi knows him very well from the La Liga and like Barca in general. His Casemiro's biggest weakness is that he's not press resistant. If he gets pressed, he will lose the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he's got like
yeah,
slow feet. Yeah, so he's
and
not
that's
able to.
why and that's why he wasn't like the main guy for build up for Real Madrid when he was playing for them. It was Luka Modric and Cruz, and it wasn't just because Luka Modric and Cruz were good on the ball. It's just they were so press resistant that no one could take the ball off them. But Casemiro wasn't, so that's why he wasn't involved at all in build up.
No,
Um,
first.
yeah,
No, so fun stat. Casemiro and Bruno have never lost a game that they've started together. Let's just let that sink in. But next person, Fred. Man, you know what? I'm gonna start with this one. I'm giving Fred an 8.5. I'm giving Fred an 8.5. I thought he was brilliant in the second half. The goal to reset the tone, the amount of times he won the ball back, he was everywhere. He covered every blade of grass. 8.5 for Fred. How about you,
yeah.
Abdel?
And you know what's funny is Fred. Those transitional games suit Fred the most.
Mm.
Mm,
If you set a low block in front of Fred, Fred becomes shit automatically because he just can't break. He can't break a low block. He just won't. You know, like they'll give him the ball and say like, okay, let's see what you can do. You know, it's like I'll be like, okay, I'll just pass it sideways. But if you give him a transitional game with a lot of space to hit, Fred is amazing, and
yeah,
especially also with his running ability and like he breaks shit up and press people.
yeah.
So it started out bad for him, but after that goal and forward, he became a very key important player in the match. So I would say 8 because he got a goal.
How about you, Mark?
I always pose this question on Twitter, yeah, and it's funny to see the response. I always say, "Is that a Fred disaster class or is that a monster class?" And everyone just replies, "It's Fred. It's Fred." Like
Yeah.
that first half was shocking from Fred. I can't even lie to you, but that second half was amazing. I don't know what to call it. I'm gonna give him a 9 because second half he was just everywhere.
Mm.
He won the duels. He his passing was a lot better in the second half. I mean, to say the way he took that under control for his goal,
It's not easy.
I don't even think that pass was for him.
You think
I
so?
think Bruno.
I think it was for him. I was teetering, but I think he meant to
I
give it
don't
to
know. I
Fred.
think the amount of pace that was played on that pass, I think it was meant for Anthony, but Fred anticipated that well and turned that into a very very good pass.
Mm,
Um, but Fred in the second half was brilliant, man. I can't fault him, so I'll give him a 9.
mm,
And it was he popped it on his weaker foot as well.
mm, How about you, Abdel?
For Fred,
Oh, did you already say Fred? I can't even
yeah, I
remember.
already said yeah.
Oh, okay,
8.
okay, okay.
I give
Fair
him
enough.
an 8. Yeah.
Fair. Okay. Next up, we'll go with Wout Weghorst. Mark, I'll start with you.
You better skip him. It's not gonna give him
Pass.
Um, 4.5.
4.5. How about you,
That's me
Abdel?
being nice. So I was gonna give him an NA.
How about you? How about you?
I'll be a little bit kind. I'll just give him a 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 5. He didn't have a good
He,
game,
he
but
didn't have a good day, but he tried to
how
do
many
what
games
he
did he
was
start? How
supposed to
many
do.
games did he started in a row now? Was it like
9,
5, 6, or 9?
9. Yeah.
9 games in a he's never supposed to he's never ever supposed to start that many games in a row.
But
Come on, man.
Martial is not available, so what are we gonna do?
Yep, man, that's the problem right there. Bruno Fernandez. I'm gonna give Bruno. He did have a terrible first half, but the way he bounced back in the second half, got the assist for the first goal, won the ball back for the second goal. I know Shaw backheeled it, but they lost the ball. We lost the ball and he won it back, right? And then gave it to Garnacho, and that's kind of what start off Anthony's goal. So I'm gonna give Bruno a 7 in this game. How about you, Abdel?
Yeah, I'd say that that's about right.
Yeah,
Yeah, 7.57. Yeah,
7,
Yeah.
7.5.
yeah.
Mark, same
7.5.
thing. Fair. Jaden Sancho. This one's kind of a weird one. I can't lie. This one is kind of a weird one. Mark, what would you give him?
5.5.
19 for 20 pass accuracy. That's what I'm looking at right now.
No, I think see with Sancho, yeah, he's one of those footballers. Yeah, he does a lot of things right, but it's not effective. So like his touches are great. He
We
makes
just
the right
said that
pass.
yesterday. Remember?
He said he makes good pass. Like his pass completion will always be high, but it's just like it's not really effective. Like he had a chance to run that. I can't remember who it was in the second half, and he just didn't look like he wanted to take that guy on. Like even
Kunde. Yeah, I know
yeah,
exactly what you're talking about. He
yeah, and
like he
even
like
like
led
sort
the
of like
ball and then it just was yeah.
he
I know
just
what you
very relaxed. Even sort of like the chance that Barcelona had, he switched off. Like when I watched it, it just looked like he wasn't there. Like even there was I think there was like a 50-50 and he pulled out of it. Like he jumped up in the air. Like like when you try to avoid injury and you kind of like you kind of stick your toe out, but then you pull it back. Like I'm seeing stuff like that. I'm just like, bro, like if you have to get hit to for us to gain advantage, just get hit. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like I think it's going to be a slow process to get Jadon Sancho back to what we think he is, but he just needs to gradually improve. I don't think today was his best performance. A bit
yeah.
him playing in a weird position, but I think he
Yeah.
just needs to be a bit more effective, like more just apply what his talents to the game more.
Mm. How about you, Abdel? What would you give him?
I was gonna give him a 5, and not because he's bad. It's
Mm.
just because he had no like effect on the game. Like
Yeah,
he really like he didn't do anything good and he didn't do anything bad. It just didn't do anything. So
yeah.
it's like so that's why we were
Uh,
saying exactly yesterday, exactly that. We were saying exactly that yesterday. Me and Temi
I
were
know.
talking about Rashford and Sancho. Like when Rashford has a bad game, you look at him and they say, Rashford, you've been bad. Like you have had a terrible game. But when you look at Sancho, it's like, okay, what did he do again? Like I don't remember him doing anything bad, but like what did he actually do? And that's why like it skips through you. Like you don't actually notice Sancho that much. Like I don't know if he had a bad game or a good game. You come out literally saying that, you know, and that's the thing with Sancho.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give. First of all, I think I was looking at the wrong stats, so forgive me there. But I'm gonna give him a 6. Honestly, I'm gonna give him a 6 because I just
Is it the
one
average? The 6 is the average?
to me,
Sure,
for
yeah,
me,
you can
6
give
is
him a 6.
average. But
Yeah, sure.
I okay. So let me actually find the real stats here because I definitely got that wrong. Oh no, that was much worse than I thought. Okay, 17 for 26 pass accuracy today, so 65% pass accuracy. That is
Oh wow. Okay,
actually
that's
really
not good.
bad. So you know what? I take it back. I'll give him a 5.5. But you know what? I'm gonna say this, and I've been saying it. I've never liked him on the left. I've never been one. There's so many people who tell me, "Oh, he's better on the left." Oh, he's better. No, I don't agree with that. I genuinely don't
It's
agree with that.
it's
What do you
the.
prefer him?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
I
This
prefer him on
thinking
the right or at number 10. I don't prefer
this,
him on the left.
this thinking comes purely from him being on a right-footed player. And I hate that straightforward thinking because, okay, you can be right footed, but your decision making isn't the best from a certain type of angle, you know? So like, I don't know. It's the same thing with Rashford. It's like, oh, Rashford is better on the left. It's very obvious. No, it's not obvious because
Exactly.
it's not obvious. Rashford is good at certain things from the left, good at certain things from the middle, good at certain things from the right. It's the same thing with Rashford. They're not like a one side dominant, and that's the
I
Mhm.
thing
like
with them.
I like Sancho off the right because I feel like his crossing is really good.
Yeah.
We don't utilize it
And he
enough.
and he and he links up at his interlinking with those players on the right is better in my opinion too.
Yeah,
Like I
Yeah,
just think off the left, you're asking him to do a different job. You're asking him to take on players,
yeah,
right? You're asking him to beat a man 1v1. You're asking him to do a lot of things that I think he doesn't want to necessarily be the driving the focal point of the team, right? Where on the left he might have to do a lot of he might have
he
to
has
take
to do
on,
more. He has
yeah,
to do more.
he has to do more. Well, where he's off the right, he's playing. He's comfortably. He's on his right foot more. Right.
yeah.
He has more options in pass. I think the pitch is more open for him. Just I
Like,
don't know. I don't know where this thing where he has to play on the left is, but I prefer him on the right
I think
so
like
much
even
more.
I
I
right
think
think
as well.
I just don't see him having a lot of good games on the left.
Like
I think
even
the Go ahead. No worries.
I was gonna say, like when he plays on the right, like he's able to sort of organically move centrally, if that makes sense. So he can pass and move into the center of the pitch. Whereas on the left, when he tries to pass and move into the center of the pitch, it feels like he's running into traffic because it's just so.
Because he has to
angles
stay
are a bit-
wider.
Pardon?
He has to stay wider.
Yeah, I think that the angles are a bit different. So
Yeah.
I don't really like him on the left.
And the thing is, as well, like taking a very similar example, like when we were just talking about Rashford and its comparison to Sancho in the 2021 season, when we brought in Cavani, right? Cavani isn't Martial in the terms of like you can play off of him 1-2s and he'll open up space for you. And that's why Rashford struggled with Cavani a little bit at first, right? And then when we switched Pogba and we made him a left winger, and then we put Rashford on the right, I know people were screaming like, "Why are you putting Rashford on the right? He's not, doing much." Blah blah
And
blah
I thought he
blah.
looked good during that spell, or decent.
On the right, his job got filtered down to just a very minimal level. Make runs and whipping crosses, and he
So
got
simple.
so many assists and he got many goals that way. Like obviously he naturally drifted a little bit central to get his goals, but he still performed. He didn't touch the ball a lot because he prefers to be on the left hand side to get on the ball to feet. But it doesn't have to be that way. And by the way, like this is why Eric Ten Hag plays him centrally, because he don't want him on the ball too much. Because Rashford starts to take bad decisions when he gets on the ball too much. Yeah. So I'm like, oh wow, like Eric Ten Hag is making the same exact thinking we had in 2020, 2021. That's just different players. I'm like, okay, it's working. Let's keep doing that. So I don't know why they want the left wing for Sancho also. Like I don't get it. Just because you have a bigger, toolkit on the left doesn't mean you're using it well.
No, facts. Let's make it quick. I know both of you guys had about 45 minutes. So last one right here for the starters, Rashford. I'll give Rashford a 6. I'll give him a 6. He really was, he was pretty quiet, but I think he did have some moments. Maybe I'm being generous, but I'll give him a 6. I don't know. How about you, Abdel?
For Rashford?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give him a 6 too. Because the first half he wasn't good because when he was on the left.
Yeah, 8 for 13 pass accuracy for Rashford, 0 chances created, 0 for 2, 1 for 6 successful dribbles today, 0 for 1 accurate long balls, 2 for 9 ground duels won. So he was the stats say he wasn't that good. But Mark, what do you think about his game?
I just don't think he didn't really do much, to be fair. He had a couple good dribbles and whatnot. I think with him, like Barca played him really well. Like
they prepared for him.
I think also as well, like he didn't really have much going for him. Like he didn't really have like Shaw overlapping him. He didn't really have the 9 sort of playing with him. He just everything he tried to do
by himself.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I agree. It wasn't his game, but he can't be. He can't be perfect every game. You know what I'm saying? This man has been literally dragging us through some games. Not necessarily that people are playing bad, but in terms of his goals. When is the last time we've won a game and he wasn't in the thick of it somehow? Right.
I think all of the other goal scorers are less than 7 goals each, or I think Anthony just hit 7.
Yeah.
So that's the second highest goal scorer we have.
Yeah.
So
Anthony Bruno 7.
Yeah. What would y'all give Anthony?
Well. I think Fred's on 7 as well.
That's crazy.
Fred is on 7.
I think it's something like that. Like that. Let's see.
That's impressive.
Yeah, Premier League he has 2 goals. I can't see the rest. It doesn't matter. I believe you.
A couple in the cup games as well.
Yeah. It's probably in all comps. Yeah, exactly. And then I'm going with Anthony. What would you give him, Abdel?
8 for instant impact. He changed the game. Fred has 5 actually.
No, 8.5. How about you, Mark?
Who's this for, Fred?
No, this is for Anthony.
Oh, sorry. Why did I say Fred?
And I just said Fred has 5 goals. That's
Oh
why
yeah,
you got confused. Yeah.
Anthony 7.5.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I'm gonna go 7.5. The goal was great, but again, I still think in the final third, there's a lot of moments where I'm just like, bro, it's all good though. It's all good. I think that goal was the biggest goal of his United career. I think that was his right now that's his signature goal for Manchester United. You know what I mean? I thought a lot of the goals he scored in the past, not all of them, but a lot of them were just kind of, just weren't timely goals. I'd
Yeah,
say.
maybe the Arsenal one because that was
The Arsenal one was
yeah.
timely. This one was timely, but then I feel like a couple other ones were kind of just, it doesn't matter though. Anyway, that's besides the point. Then we have 3 others. We have Garnacho, we have Dallo, we have McTominay. I'm not going to count. Dallo and Garnacho kind of came on and made an impact. I'll give both of them 6s.
Yeah,
I don't,
I think that's fair.
I just think it was
Yeah.
one of those.
McTominay barely had any touches, so he doesn't get a score.
I'm not giving him a score. It came on the 88th minute. Eric Ten Hag, what would you guys give him? Abdel.
8, because he changed. He started bad, but he changed the game.
I give him an 8 as well. How about you, Mark?
7.5 because I think he recognized what had to be changed and he did it
No.
immediately.
Yeah,
so.
Fair. And this is a big result. We move on to the round of 16. Hopefully we get a smooth draw. We've been playing. It feels like we're playing every 3 days or every 3 to 4 days. These guys need, we just need a break.
To be fair, I'm looking at it now, and our potential opponents are Fenerbahce. I can't say this other team. Ferenc Kowalski. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know who they are.
Okay.
Feyenoord.
Okay.
Freiburg. Real Betis.
Okay.
Real Sociedad. Real Union Saint Gilloise. So it's pretty favorable.
Okay. Hey, that's great to hear because honestly, we've been to get Barcelona in a playoff for the round of 16 is just crazy. So this is like a cup final to me in a weird way. A great lead up to a cup final, by the way. Like a huge win. Leading into the cup final is just what you want to see. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, guys, great game. Who was your man of the match? I think you guys had 9s for like Varane. I'm guessing that was
he was the only one I gave a 9.
Yeah.
Fred.
I think I give Fred an 8.5. So I'm gonna give.
I think
I'm gonna give it to
my man
Fred.
of the match, but I think I gave Varane a higher rating because of his match saving moment. But I think overall, Fred was the catalyst of everything that was good in the second half.
This guy Mark giving somebody a higher score, but somebody else gets man of the match. It's just crazy.
No, because it's like in that moment, if it goes 2-2,
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just telling
you. If it's 90 minutes, I think Varane should take it. If it's based on who changed the game, then Fred takes it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Fred. I'm gonna give it to Fred just because of what his impact was in that second half. And I think I read out the wrong stats for Fred as well. So I apologize, Fred. Let's see. This is a bit more accurate. 21 for 25 pass accuracy, 1 successful dribble. He didn't win any tackles. It was 6 for 18 for ground duels. But I think a lot of that is he's like pressuring Frankie de Jong. Frankie kind of nudges him, right? And then just, he's just harassing Frankie. Even though Frankie may have been getting the better of him in a lot of those situations, I still think there was a positive effect. So anyway, Fred gets my man of the match. I think Abdel said Varane. Mark said Fred. But guys, I appreciate you guys so much for being a part of this program. Tomorrow, I'm pretty confident I have another like reaction to this match. I'm going to try and do a match preview in the morning, if possible. See if I can get a guest or something like that. But yeah, guys, get your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to follow Mark and Abdel. Their information is going to be in the description. I have to re-add it right after this. And my fellas, I appreciate y'all so much. We'll talk to y'all real soon. Guys, make sure to smash the like button. We'll talk very, very shortly, okay?
Yeah.
Deuces.
Take care.